everyone, and welcome to my September TBR. So we're doing things a little bit differently this month. Normally I do the wheel of TBR to kind of help pick my books for the month, but recently I was reorganizing my TBR shelf and I was really overwhelmed with the amount of unread books that I have. So I'm going to take September, kind of go on a no buy. I do have a couple pre-orders coming in, but other than that, I'm trying not to buy any new books this month and I'm trying to read as many books as I can. September's also my birthday month, so I figure that kind of gives my relatives a better chance of buying me books that I don't already own. So making it easier on everyone all around this way. So in order to get through as many books as I can, I'm going to be trying to pick things that are more mood reads or genres that I know I can get through really fast, like romance and thrillers. But yeah, so even though I don't know exactly what I'm going to be reading this month, because it's just going to be me trying to get through as much as I can, I do have a couple books that I've pulled that I'm hoping to get to, and I figured I'd share them with you, and hopefully I'll have reviews at the end of the month for these. So first up, I started this last month and I didn't get to finish it in time for my wrap-up, but that is Flamefall by Rosaria Munda. I'm about 150 pages in, and I'm really enjoying it so far, so I'm thinking this is probably going to be the first book that I finish up in September. It's the sequel to Fireborn, which I read a couple months ago and really enjoyed, and just nice little fantasy to kick off the month. I also have a few novellas that I'm going to try to bust through, one of them being A Psalm for the Wild Built, which I've talked about semi-recently on this channel. It's a short little novella that sort of explores the idea that robots are sort of the subject of folklore, and one day one wanders out of the wilderness and approaches a tea monk and asks, "What do people need?" So it just sounds so charming and so cute. The cover kind of gives me fall vibes, which we are slowly transitioning to. It's still summer weather up here for sure, but I don't know, this year I'm just sort of, I'm not usually one to rush summer, but this year I'm feeling fall and I don't know why, but figure this would be a cute little book. I'm pretty sure I can finish this in one sitting. It's not that big, so I'm gonna try to get to this one. And then I also have the last two books that are currently out in the Wayward Children series by Shauna McGuire, and that is Come Tumbling Down and Across the Green Grass Fields. I'm not entirely sure what these two are about because I've tried to avoid sort of reading the synopses for these, but I've really loved all the books in this series so far. I think they are just so enchanting and haunting. These are, again, ones that I can usually get through in one sitting because they're so short, so I figured that would be a good idea for my sort of goal this month of reading as much as I can. I also have a couple newer releases that I'm really eager and excited to get to, and one of them is Small Favors by Erin A. Craig. I have not read her other published book, but I don't know, just the vibes that this one gives off are, I'm not even entirely sure what it's about, other than I think there's like a creepy forest. Strange things begin to plague this town by the creepy woods. I have no idea, but it seems so atmospheric and so cool, and this was sitting on my shelf and I keep looking at it and I don't know, it's calling to me, so I think I'm gonna try to get to this one this month. I also have Velvet Was the Night by Sylvia Moreno Garcia. I recently stated that she is an auto-buy author for me. I love her writing. It is so, so good. Just her prose is so magical, and this is a noir. It's very different from the other stuff that I've read by her, but again, it seems really atmospheric, and her writing only adds to the sense of atmosphere that all her books have. I don't know a whole lot about what this is about, but when it came out, I immediately snapped it up because I just want all of her books. So I'm really excited to get to this one as well. I believe it takes place in the 70s in Mexico City. It has something to do with like the student protests, I believe. This just seems so cool and I'm really eager to get to it. Also, a newer release that I'm excited to get to is actually part of August's Book of the Month picks, and that is Once There Were Wolves. This was not on my radar until this last month, and I'm part of a Book of the Month Facebook group, and everyone has been raving about this book, so I was like, I guess I need to snap this up. It follows a young woman who basically, she's like a biologist, I think, and her team are reintroducing gray wolves into the Highlands, like the Scottish Highlands. I believe there's sort of a love story as well, but I'm not sure how much of a part that plays in the novel as a whole. But like, again, this cover is just like screams fall to me. I don't know. It's so atmospheric. And again, I've heard excellent things about this online. So I'm really eager to see what the big deal is, because this, again, was not even on my radar. So I'm excited to see what all the hype is about. Another sequel I'm hoping to get to this month is The Dragon Republic by R.F. Kuang. I read The Poppy War a few months ago with my best friend Stephanie. I have a video about it if you want to check that out. Where we buddy read it, and it was so good, but I needed kind of a breather in between. The ending of that book is just, it left me feeling so empty. So I do really want to finish this series up, and Stephanie has already finished this one, and I really want to be able to talk to her about it. I have started this. I'm about 4 chapters in. It's not that far. It's only like 37 pages, but I really want to wrap this up so I can talk to Stephanie about it and move on to the 3rd one. I feel like I have a lot of in-progress series at the moment, and I want to try to fix that. I'm usually really good about reading like series all the way through, and especially where this one's already completed. I need to get on it. I need to emotionally prepare for this one, I think. These next few I'm not entirely sure if I'll get to this month, but I'm kind of hoping just the vibes that they have feel sort of transitioning to fall-ish. They're on my radar for this month, but I don't know if I'll have time. The first of which is Ace of Spades. This was on my TBR for last month, and unfortunately I didn't get to it, but this is like a boarding school with sort of a Gossip Girl situation where the 2 kids on the cover are the only Black students at their school, and they start receiving anonymous letters and threats to reveal their secrets and stuff. And it sounds really like this is another book I've heard only good things about, and it has sort of that dark academia feel to it. So I feel like that's a really good, it's back to school season. Not that I'm in school or anything anymore, but it just seems appropriate for this time of year, and I've been really eager to get to it. So hopefully it's in the cards this month. See what I did there? Ace of Spades. Another sort of dark academia-ish book that is on my radar this month is The Ravens. This is more of like a sorority, college level back to school sort of thing. And I believe it focuses on a sorority that is actually a coven of witches. I know nothing about it other than that, because that's all that I needed. I was already sold on that concept. So I feel like this will be a good like transitioning into October sort of book. So I've heard good things about this one as well. And I believe this is a part 1 of a duology. And I think The Monarchs, which is the 2nd book, comes out early next year. So I definitely would like to get to this before that comes out. And finally, I don't know why this one kind of called out to me. Maybe it's sort of the fall colors again, but this cover just draws me in every time I see it. They're making a movie. I want to read it. It's not a book I hear a lot about here on BookTube, but it's been sort of in the corner of my eye for a while, and that is The Essex Serpent by Sarah Perry. This is a historical fiction. It focuses on a woman named Cora. It takes place in 1893, and I believe after her husband dies, she kind of moves out into the country, and I think she's like a biologist or something, and she really enjoys being out there, and there's like hints of this giant serpent that's sort of like haunting the countryside, and she wants to kind of figure out what the heck is going on. There's also, I think, a vicar that's like a love interest. I don't know. I know very little about this, but just that cover. I love that. So yeah, this has been sort of on my TBR shelf for a couple months now, and it's one that I've been eyeing. I just haven't had time to get to it, and I would really love to do that this month. So yeah, that sort of wraps up my hopeful TBR. Again, I can't guarantee I'll get to these books specifically, but I'm just gonna kind of follow whatever my mood is, and hopefully that way I can finish a lot of the books that are currently on my TBR and feel slightly less overwhelmed by my lack of space. Let me know down in the comments below if you have any suggestions for me this month. Something that's fast, something that like you blazed through and really loved. I want to like obviously enjoy all these books that I'm reading. I'm not just finishing them for the sake of finishing them. They're all books that I want to actually read. I need a month where I just focus on the books that I currently have and don't get distracted by new releases. So let me know. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you guys don't mind this sort of break in TBR format. I just feel like it's something that needs to be done. Feel free to follow my socials down below, like this video, subscribe to my channel if you're not already, and have a wonderful day. Bye.